You know, I hope you guys are having a wonderful day. We're growing here, as we are supposed to be always growing and evolving, right? Sometimes we find ourselves in a predicament where we say, you know what, man, look what's going on. I'm unhappy about this. And no. We start complaining about so many different things. It's still a form of growth. It's just that you need to sometimes free your mind and flex those ideas and throw some things out in order to build again, right? Because sometimes when you're complaining, you're just basically freeing some of those things that have been pent up inside. We go through things in life. I remember my grandmother and I were having this prayer meeting. We were reading the Bible together because it was raining outside, and something came over me. I felt as though I knew that it wasn't going to be long, that we weren't going to have long to spend together. And it was hard to fight back the tears because it was like certain things that were within me that were just pulling at me, and it was just really painful because, I see her almost as my first mother, because although she might not have been my mother, there's certain times that we spent together where I was able to at least bond with her at times. You can't bond with everyone. I didn't really bond with my mother figure until, years later. And, I had a fear of my mother because growing up, we had such a strained relationship. And, a lot of things are being, opened up at this point in time where, I'm gaining more clarity. And I'm thankful for that, getting to know and see and understand the positions that people took, And even with that, breaking the family cycles of people constantly going through guilt and pain, making you feel guilty because, as children, adults have the upper hand because we're growing, we're little, we don't know. At that particular time, I was a little girl. And people making me apologize when I wasn't wrong. And when you're a child, you have to humble yourself because you are at the, you're the person who has to do what your parents are telling you to do, or you're, the people that are older than you, should I say respecting your elders. And I was taught that. But even with the lessons growing up, I'm able to decipher certain things and being able to remember and grow from all these things. There was a time where the television would turn off at a certain hour and there was nothing else you could do. You either played games, or some people, took that time to have children, Everyone engaged in their own activities. But at that particular time, I remember, because I was always the one who didn't want to go to bed. I was always afraid, that I would miss out on something. Because that's how children are. Years later, my mother and I actually had a talk to clear the air of so many things that we were carrying. She said, you were actually a good kid. I just was going through so much and I did not understand, And it goes back to what my GAM said. She said, they forgot what it was like to be children. And it was all of us going through different transitions, different lessons. Although we might have made harsh decisions when we made certain decisions, that was still growth. Some things have to happen in order to clean things up to start anew, right? It's like springtime. You clean up the house and you air everything out. You open up those windows, you change the sheets, and you might put them on a clothing line so you can get fresh air going through the clothing instead of putting them in the dryer. My mother was one of those people. I remember her putting up a clothing line for the neighbors. They couldn't believe she got up on that telephone pole, climbed up there and made that connection. She was a brave heart. But she also had great fears too. When your mother is having certain fears and she's carrying you within her, or even you carrying a child within you and feeling different feelings, different impressions, different emotions. Try not to have that fear when you're carrying a child within, because those same fears permeate and are engaged in by that child. And even though that child does not understand certain things at that particular moment, you're introducing certain things to that child that might not be able to be corrected in the same capacity. You know, it's easy to make a mistake, but the cleanup after that mistake sometimes is harder to deal with, you know. Now, when we look at different relatives, there's so many things that we can learn from each and every one of them, good or bad or indifferent. The matter is, what the importance is that you learn and that you're able to grow. That postpartum depression that a lot of women are experiencing, even now, is because we have to clean up certain things. We have to reach certain understanding of clarity before moving forward. When you're in a relationship and you're having so many problems with this person, it's not going to get any better when you have a child. That child is now going to reap the benefits of this shared knowledge and of this shared pain. No one wants to share pain. At least I know I don't. You want to share growth. You want to share balance. You want to share healing. And that can't happen if you're constantly jumping on the next person. Person comes in the door and you're ready to argue and fuss and fight. And when you're doing all this fussing and fighting, that person is now thinking, you know what? Where I just left, they didn't treat me half as bad. Maybe I need to put more time into work. Now that person is at work more than their home. Did you solve the problem? You caused a bigger problem. We have to come to a point where we're having better understandings, better talks. You know, we're all able to make mistakes. We're all subject to doing that because that's what we're here to do. Learn from those mistakes and grow from it. But here's the thing. When you meet someone, in the beginning, everything is so wonderful and everything is so great. Oh, I love that person. Oh, he looks so good with me. Or, you know, you're pairing each other up and you're learning and you're growing. But while you're learning and growing, there are going to be times that are not going to be so spectacular. If you're there for the long haul, if you're willing to hold that person's hand throughout the entire experience, that is a great thing. You see, because some people have gotten lost. You know, there was a woman who was trying her hardest to get involved with this guy because she thought that being with him was going to end all of her problems. Not looking at herself as being the person who had to learn from her own mistakes and grow so that she could be a good counterpart for him. She jumped into a relationship and things didn't go so well. Now she jumps into another relationship and now she had a side piece as well. So now she's pregnant and does not know who the father is. You see, again, when you sleep with other people, you're taking on some of their karma as well. Are you willing to live and take on someone else's karma? Because all that energy and all that fluid that you shared with that person, all of those things, and when you're dealing with different people at the same time, all of those spirits and all of that energy and all those different things, it's hard for you to understand what's going on with you because you're carrying around other people's energy as well as other things. And then you have some people who come and they spend a lot of time with a person and steal a lot of their energy and take it back to someone else. That's a crime within itself as well, because it's almost like you're stealing. If you really want to become more grounded, you might want to go outside. Spend some time with the trees and the leaves, While you're out there, you're able to think freely. Take that time and just enjoy that nature. You know, nature's not going to reward us if we continue to chop down these trees, because in all honesty, are we fighting for nature when we're chopping down all these trees? We need to be in nature. We need to be able to enjoy that space and the time that you're able to spend with it. Energy is an extension of ourselves, just as nature is as well. And the quicker we figure that one out, the quicker we stop chopping down all these trees. Where the birds supposed to go, and how on earth are we supposed to be grounded if there are no trees left? What oxygen are we going to be able to breathe if there are no trees left? It's important that we realize that there's so much that we can have, so much that can come if we only begin to appreciate what we already have. And if we can engage in healthier relationships with each other. All of these different lessons are blessings to teach us to grow us into better individuals. Respecting the animals, respecting ourselves, respecting nature, respecting our children. Everyone has a soul. And as we are soulfully growing, we are able to energize ourselves and watch and observe what is going on in our surroundings. You know? I could throw a lot of things out right now that have been going on, but I'm not going to do that. I think that right now we are all going through our own healing moments. And I feel good about that, don't you? I just want us to be able to look at some of the mistakes that we've made and try to correct them. Or try to just let them go and start fresh. And begin to treat people the way you want to be treated. You know? There's a lot of pain. People are healing from their pains. And a lot of growth. And a lot of peace. If you are willing to help someone else, your peace lands differently. Your happiness lands differently. If we're going to grow and we're going to try and strive to grow better together, we must first start holding ourselves accountable for our own actions, for trying to take our time to getting to know who we are as individuals. You see, there are a lot of women who give their power away to their male counterparts, and a lot of male counterparts that give all their power away to women. If we take the time to get to know ourselves better, to spend this quality time with ourselves solo, then we can start having healthier relationships with other people, you know? But let us begin to start healing and learning and growing while we are alone. Spending that quality time by yourself. If you know what you like when you get into that relationship, it'll be easier for you to share that energy and that time and those impressions on what it is that you want and what you like. It's a healthier, give and take experience, It is so important and so lovely being the person that you are when you're able to love yourself and embrace life and be able to really take these moments and say, thank you, God, for you have made such a difference in my life. And I love how you are changing other people's lives in my surroundings. I love all that you do for me, and I'm thankful that you're allowing me to observe others in their growth. I especially appreciate when I can see another person actually gaining something, seeing another person learn lessons, seeing another person grow through all that they've been through. I even would be happy to see another person win something, win a car or a house or whatever it is that they're gaining. Because with me being happy for them, I can be happy because I know that God is blessing others, and I know that He is blessing all of us. You see, because in each moment when we are able to appreciate these moments, appreciate the growth and the expansion of others, then I can also appreciate the growth and expansion of what it is that I am doing and what it is that I choose to do and persevere in doing. Each experience lending itself to another. Each experience being able to grow. when you're planting that seed in that soil, it doesn't come up so quickly all the time, you know. You've got to watch it grow and nurture it. You talk to that plant, you are so happy to watch its growth, just like we're happy to see our children's growth and happy for them while they're even making little mistakes, to see how funny it is, to see how they are growing and learning and expanding through their lessons as well. We're all on this learning pathway, trying to grow and persevere, you know, making sure that we're drinking more water, right? Making sure that we are trying to make better choices in our eating habits. And while we're doing this for ourselves, let us not forget those who are around us, what it is that they're able to do. Being able to compliment another person for being able to make such successful options and choices to improve their own lives. I was watching someone the other day running through the park, and they were getting it. And although right now they're saying, well, it's winter time, you know, and I want to get my body in shape by next summer. Whatever that person is doing, it's a beautiful thing that they are trying to strive to be better. And while you're watching them, don't forget to give them that thumbs up, or give them that hands, that you know, that heads up on how wonderful it is to even observe them in their improvement, you know, in their journey. We're all on our own journeys, in our own paths. And it's important that we bask and enjoy that these are moments in which we can not only appreciate for ourselves, but appreciate for others. Because it is so lovely being you, especially when you are on the journey of self-improvement. You have a good one, and thank you so much for joining us.